And we are off. We have LeyraGG on the left there. We've got AcktheBoker on the right and there. We are starting things out. And we've got a full heart container inside of the house. We'll see. We are in standard mode there, so the escape sequence is mandatory. We'll see how well they each manage to accomplish that there.
Well, it was almost right. We got two pendants in the Light World. Vanilla green pendant and red pendant up on the Tower of Hera. Wait, is that vanilla as well? I always forget which one's red and which one's blue in the vanilla game, because they're so meaningless in rando.
Pretty much, yes.
Hey, I haven't seen one of these in ages. Let's go.
Ooh, we've got bombs as our weapon from the uncle, or not as weapon from the uncle. I don't believe we're running Uncle Assured there, but this is, we do get him at the beginning.
So, bomb escape probably a little bit outside of practice for most people at this point, because especially now that standard randomized swords, or just randomized swords in general, has been shifted to have an equal chance of a sword popping up, bomb escape probably hasn't been done for a while, unless you're someone like AcktheBoker who still plays things like entrance rando, where bomb escape is just something that happens constantly.
Yes, and we have to make sure that we don't run out of bombs there, because several of these doors, as you know, are enemy locked.
So how familiar are people with their bomb strats?
Oh, we get some nice kill on the guard there with double bombs. No loss of bombs there. Get a bottle from the chest there. We'll bring Sick Kid into play there. Oh, hopefully no one forgets that.
Bottle would bait towards Kakariko after the escape, but surely there's still things in other places, right?
Oh, of course there, yes. It might lend yourself to be doing Kakariko before South Shore there, but you never know.
Oh man, okay, so that just got something that's kind of annoying about bombs. So, if a bomb explodes at just the right spot on its arc, then it won't actually do any damage because it's going to be considered above the enemies.
Ooh,
it's about a 1 or 2 frame window, so every single time that happens, you just kind of look at it and go, why? Why you gotta be that way?
But they make it through that section of there, but we still have to deal with the guard, but thankfully we've got plenty of pots to deal with them.
Green guard being very rude today, engaging both of them head on.
Just remember, everyone, pot is bad for you. Alright, looks like Leyra is the first to get rescue Zelda out of her cell, but we still have a lot of rando ahead of us. This is only a couple second difference there. Nothing terribly interesting in the escape sequence so far, except for that bottle there, but we still have the bombable wall in the sewer section of escape to find. With still 5 bombs in play, we may be able to see that.
The final boss of the escape is coming up before too long. Everybody's favorite key rat. I still remember when this mode came out, and just the sheer number of complaints about bomb escape because of that key rat. We'll see if these two still can handle that one just fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they can hit a Womp Rat heading through Beggar's Canyon any day of the week. We'll see if they can do it with as a Cactar and as a Toadette.
All the guards are being rather uncooperative this run, constantly managing to barricade everywhere they're trying to go. They're doing their job! This is a problem!
Gasp, shock and awe. How dare they be competent?
They're not supposed to be competent, they're supposed to be beings of evil! That's incompetency by sheer nature!
Look, I wonder if Ganon has read the Evil Overlord's list.
I mean, probably. He most likely sits on his coffee table. What else does he have to do all day? He's sitting in a pyramid. Or, like, possessing a wizard, I guess.
I'm just gonna stand here and spin my trident for a while. I'm sure it's gonna look cool when the hero shows up.
I mean, sure, have you ever... He's like a drummer. Gotta learn how to spin it just right, you know? For maximum swag points.
Indeed.
And, you know, using it like boomerang, pretty cool, too. Defying the laws of all known physics. Seems good. Alright, here we go. First up, try and take on the key rats down. There we go. And
One shot, one rat.
Key rat being very cooperative for both of them and just staying perfectly still.
Bomb's explosion is a bit larger than people think sometimes, so that works out. We've got a piece of heart, we've got a dungeon map, and some bombs. Nothing terribly interesting from the escape cache, but you never know. You never know.
Alright, so very, very bare bones escape for the most part. I mean, we got a moon pearl, that's pretty cool, but other than that, the world is your oyster as to choosing which one you want to go to first, as the rats decide to be really rude and just want to sit in front of the door on Ack.
Alright, so then we come up to the eternal question. Do we go for Kakariko or do we go for South Shore? Which is your first clear of preference?
Well, for me, it's definitely not Kakariko, but here they go. They're both going. Go on your Kak adventure! I suppose.
Would that be a Kak attack?
No, it's too peaceful. Lyra's actually gonna head up further north and see what's on the Lumberjack Ledge.
Ack is deciding to go straight into the Lost Woods, however. They will see how well that turns out for him.
Well, it saves you about the 30 seconds or so of riding up here to check the Lumberjack Ledge. He'll probably just check it later when he gets boots or something. And we have ourselves a glove. So one item away from Dark World access already.
Pretty much there. You just need either the Titan Smith or the hammer. That's all that's left for that there. Leyra is going to be finding that soon. Ooh, Kana Samaria in the Thieves' Den.
The plot, she thickens. Now, if I was a hammer or the other piece of Dark World access, I'd be hiding probably very out of the way today. Let's say Pendant Eastern. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You can just go from the bottom up if you want. I know exactly what he's doing. So he's gonna check Lumberjack Ledge and then climb straight up Death Mountain.
Dark World, or Lanternless Dark World, or into Death Mountain. Not Dark World, what am I saying?
Dark Room.
Thank you. Words, they are a thing.
So I like this. I like this a lot. It's cheeky. I can get behind that. As Lyra moves on to the more, expected play of going to Kakariko.
There's not all that much on early Death Mountain there, but you never know there. If it's something critical there, he will have a big lead on Lyra.
It's one of those things, it probably won't work out. Maybe he'll stop at the same equip point. It makes it so it's not even a time waster or anything. You're gonna get that same equip point one way or another. May as well do it while also making sure there's nothing on Lumberjack Ledge. Seems efficient.
Indeed there, and Ack makes it through the dark room just fine there. Lyra finds Melkana Burna inside of the well, though. Ack gets a bombs from the old man. Nothing of value there. Oh, and gets bonked in the head by rocks. But just, does that count as reaching that save point?
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those things, you don't have to worry too much about getting killed after the cutscene. And yeah, it's exactly as expected. He got the same equip point, and he's moving on to South Shore. You can blame that 100% on the glove, baiting him away from Kakariko.
So he's got sort of South Shore clear, whereas Lyra keeps checking out Kakariko. Hasn't found it, finds a sword. Now that's definitely of use.
Little bit. It's still early, so it's nothing too big. And with that Kana Samaria, Ack's gonna have no issue with Mini Moldarm Cave anyways.
Nothing on Bottle Vendor today, just a big 20 there. Ends up losing some rupees there, but rupees are easy enough to find, so nothing terrible there.
Oh, we stole the old lady's life savings. She specifically sealed off that wall to keep you from doing that, and then Leyra just walks in and takes it all anyways.
Okay, you give the sick kid a bottle there, he gives you another bottle there. Oh, that is very interesting. We'll just leave it at that.
Hey, that's a really nice bottle. Can you take a look at my... Hey, what are you doing? Give it back! Something along those lines.
Pretty much.
Cactuars are not known for being nice.
Alright, now we're coming up on Hype Cave, I think it is. Yes. Alright. Ooh, we've got the ice rod, it looks like.
Suspicions have tended to a rock rising dramatically.
Yeah, we got the ice rod, we got the cane of Samaria there. We're still quite some pieces away. Ack did find the blue mail underneath the swamp inside or in the drained lake. So that will help out a little bit of the things there. And manages to play dodge the cute bin just fine.
Okay, so with the lamp sitting up on top of the library shelves, I'm feeling pretty confident we're not going to be seeing dragons. Oh, Ack, please. Please. He's deciding to skip Ice Rod Cave in favor of sequence breaking. Okay, Ack, you do you. You do you. Oh, if the hammer's over there, I'm going to feel very sad. Because we'll see it pretty soon from Leyra.
We'll see how it goes there, yes. He decided to fake flipper it into the waterfall cave. And was rewarded by 5 rupees and some explosives. And refilling the bottle that he got.
What we get? What we get? Of course.
It's
not even a good thing. Can we even get some money out of it? And looks like Ack, instead of deciding to walk back to the portal and go to Hobo or anything like that, is just going to take a look at Zora Ledge. Orphaning Zora early, are we? Oh, here he goes. He's going to walk on back and head to... We'll see if he goes for a Hobo or if he heads straight to Eastern Palace. Either or. Heck, he might even just walk over to Ice Rod Cave. Today's direction is north. 20 rupees on the island, and yeah, he's just gonna take a look at Hobo while I was in the middle of doing all this.
Pretty much, yes. Alright. So Leyra just picked up their rice rod, so we'll see where they decide to go next. Hobo has, today, 10 arrows. Good use of the time. Well, you never know.
Alright, Ack, where are you going? You going to Eastern Palace or you going to Ice Rod Cave? Because it's either or.
There's not much else you can really go at this point. Leyra's in Ice Rod Cave, so we will see what lies within.
Okay, Ack could not in good conscience keep this one skipped. He's heading over to Ice Rod Cave.
Oh, but there's nothing there. What he does need lies within Eastern Palace, most likely.
So, there is the risk of fake flippering back to the right. The exploding mushroom cap enemy, it doesn't really care about where its exploded spores are in the sky. Like, they'll be way up high in the sky, and it will still hit you when you're way down in the water. And of course, Fake Flipper State kills you instantly, because the randomizer made that little change to make sure you didn't just get soft lock standing on the water for 5 years.
Yeah, indeed, because... Which is a blessing and a curse there, but you do lose some time there, but at least you're not locked up forever there. But Leyra's heading over to Eastern Palace. Whatever we need to move forward is lying within, or perhaps Sasha's got it stashed away in his little hidey hole.
Yeah, at this point, it's either this or Agata. Agata earlier might be again.
So if it's in Sasha's place there, would you go to Eastern Palace, or... Oh, we got Master Sword early.
Ah, it means nothing yet until the boots show up. With the lamp sitting on the library, that gives us at least a safeguard that if we're stuck doing Aghanim for whatever reason, we'll at least be able to go fast.
Indeed, yes. So, alright, Leyra is going into Eastern Palace momentarily. We'll see what's in there. Yeah, but like you said there, it is possible that you could have a Agha-required Dark World access.
Of course, there's always the question of what our dear friend Sora has anyways, since the gloves do technically put that in logic, and Leyra actually has enough money thanks to Kakariko being so loaded.
Pretty much, yeah.
Presently, though, I'd expect that this would be the play.
Odds are, yes, but Randomizer has done weirder things.
It's true. Eastern at least is a relatively quick check. I'm not super fond of going into it early when it's green pendant. I'm actually a lot more fond of doing that when it's red or blue, but you know, sometimes it's when your options are narrowing like this, you gotta do something.
It's almost like nowhere else to go at this point unless you want to try something really bizarre and or out of the way. So this is the correct play there. Now it does bring up the possibility there that if you when we find progression in here, quite possibly there, that if something critical is hit on the green pendant, we'll have to double dip this dungeon possibly.
So one of the interesting little things about this is, due to the way that Ack read at the start of the Light World here, he gets to save and quit at the bottom of the Flying's hideout and not have to bother walking back out and doing all the extra checks that way. So hey, a nice little, like, 10-ish seconds saved.
Yeah, second saved is a second saved. It'll allow you to catch up just that much quicker.
Mm-hmm. One of those things where if you're going to save time, it may as well be in things like Traversal, where you'll just straight up get that over your opponent, as opposed to just not checking things, which is dangerous.
Indeed there. Our first hint tile there, it says that a unique item requires a bomb there. I'm trying to remember if anything that we found so far was behind a bomb at the moment.
Ice Rod. Oh, wait, no, not Ice Rod.
That will count, definitely.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's one of them. Probably nothing else just yet. No, not yet. So that's the other one so far. That would appeal to that heat.
Alright,
Yeah, the
Leyra
probably
is
bomb one is...
Leyra is doing a Dark Room Eastern, which is not all that hard at all there, but logic doesn't account for that if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Nope, it will never force you to go through a dark room. So, great, so, that means it's either Zora or Agita. So, everybody likes to go to the farthest corners of the light world, right?
Oh, of course. Who doesn't love a good swim?
Well, good old Ack already managing to completely orphan Zora, so we know where he's going after Eastern Palace. A lovely prize. They'll both end up with their wonderful magical boomerang.
Yeah, it's another attacking item, but with Master Sword already there, it's not the biggest prize. But hey, it's nifty and it's enough. You can throw it, you can catch it, you can stun enemies. It's limited use, yes. Well, not you know what I mean.
So, depending on how some people do the light world, some will opt to actually go do Mini Molder and Cave and Ice Rod and then do Damn Magana, and if we have the progression in this seed, that would have worked. It's the one thing with the light world is pretty much it's always going to go about the same every time, especially when you're getting bottlenecked into what is most likely the hammer.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so let's see if Agina's Cave has progression in it, or is it, or do we have Agha 1 Dark World required? Or no, we need the boots first.
Yep. What do we got? What do we got?
Oh,
interesting. No. That's the mitts. Everybody's favorite form of Dark World access, because now the hunt for the hammer is on. That thing can be in so many terrible places.
So our Dark World access lies through Kakariko right now there, so that makes getting over to the other side a bit troublesome.
there's lots of ways you can get around it, but for the time being, we don't have anything. I see you doing those pumps, Leyra. Save those seconds. Save those frames. Save them! Alright, so the choice of what to do first when entering the Dark World this way is always kind of risky, because you have things like, well, you could do Thieves Town, but the big chest. Oh! And Pendant Swamp Palace as our third one. Nice.
Ooh, that's an interesting choice there, because Swamp's got a lot of stuff in it. But if it's when it's a pendant, well, you see where I'm going with this.
Now, this actually presents an interesting situation. So, Leyra's gonna really, really hope that the hookshot turns up, because there's one little difference between these two. I am not certain if Leyra can hover. And with Pendant Swamp Palace, that could actually end up becoming quite a thing.
Indeed.
Of course, hookshot's needed for a lot of other things logically anyway, so it generally turns up. But not all the time. Sometimes you get into some really fun hunts.
Nothing in Dark Kakariko's shown up just yet. Thieves Town might be our next play, to be honest. You could go into Palace of Darkness, but there's not all that much you can get in there, like 1 or 2 chests tops there. Can't go into Eastern Death Mountain at this point either. Ooh, but there we've got the flute. Now that makes things even more interesting.
Alright, so if we get ourselves, say, a set of boots, and perhaps a medallion, we can go ahead and clear out Mr. Meyer at least. Alright, now, fortunate for Ack, Sora was not the thing with Dark World access, so he's heading over to the right place right now. So, a couple things to keep in mind. With Pendant Swamp, there's such things to keep in mind as you may never need the flippers. With how things turn up, you can always just fake Flipper Dice Palace and be good to go. So the only thing the flippers award us is an invitation to Swamp Palace.
Pretty much there. Oh, we got silver arrows in the digging game there. Not necessarily acquired, but makes things a whole lot easier in the long run.
Now, especially with that flute in hand, I definitely like Leyra's choice to just avoid Thieves Town for the time being, because there's way too much of a chance of there being something locked in that big chest. It's not, like, super likely to be progression, but if there's an item there and you leave it, it is going to bother you for the rest of the run and just drive you insane. Because that's what happens every time.
Yeah. Alright, Leyra's picked up the Smith and is looking like they're going to be going on the Hammersmith World Tour.
Alright, Ack heading on over to the Dark World. There's the bow already.
Stumpy has the bow, indeed. Does that lead you straight back to Eastern Palace to finish it out? But if it's just a pendant dungeon, so you don't really want to go there, though. You could go to Palace of Darkness.
But it is not yet. The big thing about Eastern Palace is the Armos Knights and the Green Pendant Reward are locked behind the lamp, technically by logic. So, especially with it being a pendant, you really don't want to bother with that until you've at least acquired boots.
That is a good point there. Where is Ack going right at the moment? I didn't see him pick up the fire rod.
He's going to the middle portion of Skullwoods to check this first chest.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Powder, one more for the efficiency scale of dropping off the smiths while turning on the flute. And hey, there's Bombos just sitting in Skullwoods in the middle section.
Yeah, curiouser and curiouser.
I'm going to be curious to see if our Meyer medallion happens to be Bombos. This is starting to gear up to be a hammer in Misery Meyer.
That is entirely possible. We have the flute there, we've got the Titan's mitts and the pearl, and the cane. We could clear out Meyer.
we do need other boots or hookshot to get across the first gap, though. Also, a fire source would really, really help with the left side of it.
Oh yeah, that's not a dark room you won't have to do blind. So we don't have really enough that we would really want to do Meyer at the moment there. We did get that medallion from the early Skull Woods there. Is there anything else that we could really want to go to right now? Can't get to Eastern Dark Death Mountain at the moment there. We could fake flip our ways to Ice Palace, but that's without a proper fire source there. You don't really want... Well, you could bomb those things, but even so...
Alright, so it looks like Axe being a little bit more thorough with his Dark World check before going to be finding his flute. Anything on the ledge? Nope. So let's see what this Misery Meyer medallion is. Because right now, got some mystery in the air. It is Bombos. Well, where's those boots or hookshot? Because it looks like we're going on a Meyer adventure sometime soon. Oh, well then, I think we're looking at ourselves a dive into Thieves Town being rather required at the moment.
It's starting to look that way there. I mean, there's a few other... You could go into some early parts of some of dungeons there, but it's... You don't really want to do that unless you can clear it out a good portion.
Yeah. And Leira's actually opting to go ahead and check the 2 items that they can reach on Death Mountain first. So I can't really do a lot here yet, but hey, if one of them's the hookshot, then... Well, that's gonna be at least a little painful later for Ack.
Yeah, the main things we're looking for right now are the hammer and the hookshot. That's our main progression forward there. We've found the bow, but we can't really do anything of note with it just yet. But still, it's a good thing to have found. Ack is checking out Thieves Town.
3 empty bottles. It's funny how the seed tends to develop some sort of pattern for its bottle contents. You know, you get those seeds where everything's just a bee of some kind.
Indeed there. So we've got found the big key for Thieves Town. They're going to be heading forward from there. See if there's anything in the other portion of Thieves Town. Well, actually, we can't. Sorry, go ahead.
Nobody wants to commit to walking up to Spectacle Rock right now. I don't blame them. It's really unfortunate if you go up there for just one item. Because they're just got the same equip point as well. And it's Hammer in Thieves Town.
Oh, we found the hammer in Thieves Town there.
Oh. Well, hey. Yeah. That's what happens sometimes.
It looks like Leira's going to be checking out Skull Woods as well, just as Ack has there. But Ack really has the lead, finding that the hammer first there. The hammer is required for a surprising amount of dungeons there. I know that there's plenty of times that I've forgotten that a dungeon requires hammer in some weird, out-of-the-way place.
Well, on the bright side, Leira's going to end up going into Thieves Town very soon anyways, because that hammer is bottlenecking them super hard. How friendly are the enemies feeling today? Very unfriendly, as one of the stars parks right in front of the door. Thanks for that, you joints.
So with that hammer there, where would you go next?
Well, at this point, well, you get the option of going ahead and clearing out Crystal Pod. Seems pretty good. Yeah, it's Secrets Breaking the Lamp, but I mean... There's something on the eastern side of the Dark World. We don't really have any other options.
We need those. Well, we don't need the boots, but we would really like those boots so we could get the lamp to make those dark rooms all that much easier and actually be able to light torches.
Yeah, and we might need the boots eventually for Desert Palace anyways.
There's a decent chance of that. Alright, Leira picks up their Bombos medallion there. We'll see if they decide to go Was it Leyra or was it Ack that checked out Swamp? Or no, Leyra is the one who checked out Misery Mire. That's correct.
That's right. At the moment, still can't actually go inside it, but we're getting close. It's either boots or hookshot, either way, and then they'll be able to full clear the dungeon if they're feeling daring enough to take on Vitreous in currently less than ideal conditions. Although, I mean, we do have silvers and bows that are reminding on that.
Yeah, although getting through the dungeon itself is... We want to be able to do that.
Let's see if Thieves' Town has anything else nice for us. And of course, it's gonna make you go to the big chest. Because why not? We got the hammer out of here. Might just be further progression inside the dungeon we got it from.
Pretty much. Thankfully, it's mostly on the way out, so it's not that big of a detour, but even so.
Turns out would have been fine. So I guess another thing is interesting to note because of our favorite pendant swamp. The mirror may not even be anywhere accessible at all. It could just be sitting in Ganon's tower. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're routing this seed, is that suddenly things like the Smith Loop are a lot more awkward because you realize, I might not ever get the mirror, so let's make sure not to completely orphan things.
Pretty much, yes. Alright, so AcktheBoker is taking on Blind now. We'll see how things go. It's a fairly simple fight. You have Blue Mail, you have Master Sword, even though the, Blind just takes 9 hits regardless of what sword type that you have. There's some good fireball dodging coming out. So,
a little bit of a chuckle. That's one of the newer puns I've seen. I tried to catch fog, but I missed. As in the word missed. M-I-S-T. Oh, it hurts, but it's good. Maybe get a Tempered Sword as a reward. Why not? Our offense is through the roof, and the defense is okay.
Pretty much there. Blue Mail's nothing to sneeze at there. We got it early on. Alright, so in terms of just sheer progression there, Leyra has the bow and silvers over Ack, but Ack has got about a half of a dungeon lead on him. So we'll see where Ack decides to go next after this. He hasn't not found the bow yet, as I mentioned there, so he may have to do some searching before he finds his next progression.
We'll get to here in a minute. It's just in-game and stuffy. But the interesting thing here is, since Leyra opted to put off the front of Thieves' Town until the second visit to Village of Outcasts, Ack is going to end up orphaning the purple chest. So if there happens to be anything in there, he could be in for a bit of trouble. Whereas Leyra can just walk right out of Thieves' Town after this, do hammer pegs, and pick up purple chest, no cost.
Indeed there. And from hammer pegs, it looks like that we are going to be getting the mirror.
Never. So, scratch everything I just said, as Ack's gonna go pick up the Smiths and then get his purple chest right after. How hilariously convenient. He probably will end up putting off Magic Path for a little bit, but hey, he can activate his Flute Plaza while he's around here. It's just gonna do everything in one nice visit, because the mirror was right there. Thanks, game.
Yeah, putting the mirror within spitting distance of the hammer does make for some very easy routing.
Another interesting thing about this, we're getting kind of dangerously close to go mode, for Ack at least. We just need a fire on.
Yeah, and the hook shot.
Not for him. The boots will do. So, could be another medallion for Turo Rock as well, of course, but we're getting pretty close.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
So probably the thing neither runner wants to see right about now is the fluffers, because the moment Lyra gets that mirror in hand, it's just like, it just suddenly hits you, oh no, please don't be for Swamp. I don't want to go to Swamp.
Yeah, exactly. The swamp is long, it's got that whole left side that no one wants to do.
probably gonna be at least a little bit sad that Hype Cave goes and gives him the magic powder right after all this. Is he gonna remember to go activate his flute?
He's got the purple chest right now, so we'll see how that goes there. Leyra's finishing up
here he goes.
town at the moment.
Activate that second flute.
Alright, looks like Leyra's just finishing up blind right now. Takes him down with minimal to no effort there. And gets that tempered sword. So
yeah, once you learn to deal with the... once you learn more of the scripted fight for line, it starts just becoming completely trivial when you have a sword. You find yourself getting hit very rarely, and it just goes down nicely.
The purple chest just ends up having a heart container in it there, and not what he was hoping for. But let's see where they decide to check next. Leyra is going to pick up their purple chest. I've lost track of if he's done it or not.
No, he hasn't, so he'll get his heart container in a bit. Alright, Zach's gonna go ahead and do Hype Cave, and then he's probably gonna head... I will hope he's going to head west to check the cave cells of the Grove and, you know, get his bow from Stumpy, because otherwise that could get real bad real fast.
Pretty much. That's something... You definitely need that bow. For sure. So we have Mirror, and we have access to the Misery Mire area there. Could the seed be wanting us to go towards Desert Palace, perhaps?
At the moment, thanks to the flute as well, I'm really leaning towards East Death Mountain, since we can go up to Tower of Hera way and then head east from there. Got a whole lot of chests we can access. One of them is most likely going to be the boots, I think. I just feel like our Zoom shoes are coming soon. To a theater near you.
Yeah, they will be. We will be needed. There's just a question of where they are. There's a number of places that they could be. All right, and Ack has picked up his bow. Should be finding the silvers pretty shortly.
Oh, he already has those. He's already done the game. He did it before picking up the smith.
Yes, you're correct there. I was just looking at the wrong icon.
Alright, Dad. Are you going up Death Mountain? Because I think you're going up Death Mountain. I stand corrected. They are both going to Pod. You know, I don't know how I feel about this one, but the knowledge of the lamp on the library ledge, it just seems like you'd probably want to try to actually find those boots before heading into Pod.
I mean, they've shown familiarity with dark rooms before. It's not out of their comfort zone, so to speak, there. But yeah, you want to try and figure out what the logic is trying to make you do. So if those aren't in one of these early areas, then where could it be still?
If anything, it's more just because Pod and like the areas leading up to it are very linear. So you'd be able to do all these nice dashes if you decided to go find the boots before deciding on sequence breaks. But hey, it's just me. I like my Zoom shoes.
Who doesn't like Zoom shoes? They make you go Zoom.
It's like, Pod might have something. If it happens to have the fire rod, then that could work out really nicely, but that's the big thing we're after right now.
I mean, it is the Crystal Dungeon, so you're not missing out on that much, to be honest, but yeah.
It's well locked for what it's worth.
Alright, nothing in that first chest there. It looks like we're heading into the Bowlock section.
So it's kind of funny when you think about it. Checks-wise, the only thing Ack hasn't done that Leyra has is the Mire check Unique item in Ganon's tower, thanks. That better not be the boot center. I'm gonna... No, it can't be. Because the lamp. Good. But yeah. Ack hasn't done the Meyer section or Magic Bat, whereas Leyra hasn't done the Zora area, so overall, we are very, very close, as, well, you can see on screen.
Yeah, they're just within one room of each other there. Mere seconds apart from the... what am I trying to say here? From each other.
Alright. So, a couple different ways to run pod in this case. Ack's deciding to walk around, whereas Leyra's just using the mirror. Either way works, honestly. They'll both end up doing basically the same thing anyways.
Pretty much there, yes. Leyra's ending up going through the front door there, where Ack is just fighting his way through all the bumper beetles.
As you can see, it's roughly the same time. He might have saved, like, maybe 2 or 3 seconds on Leyra's side. That's about it.
Thank you for using a key. Here, have another key.
I wonder if this is going to be one of those House of Darknesses that has 5 small keys in the front. It happens.
Sometimes, yeah.
The interesting thing about that is, if it did end up being 5 small keys in the front, it actually goes ahead and puts even Harmless Hellway in logic.
Oh yeah, you are right.
Although for now, it's just the big key. Alright, would not be surprised to see Ack go for the hammer. Yup, here we go. Perfect pixel right away. Hello. Perfect. Nice and easy. Gets rewarded for 10 holy arrows for his efforts.
Alright, Leyra is making... they're both making their way through the blind maze at the moment there. Got a key from that chest.
The flippers. Fantastic. This is absolutely what we wanted to see.
That opens up Swamp. That doesn't... It technically opens up Ice Palace.
And a sigh of relief from Leyra as the hookshot shows up.
Oh, thank you.
Also of note, that's totally in logic as well, because we got 5 small keys without having to step into a dark room.
We still need to find those boots, but it shouldn't be too long now. We've got access to so much more places right now.
Importantly, we now have access to Misery Mire in its full. You know, other than the boss, technically, but goods could just easily be in there. So hover advantage, see ya, it's gone. Out the window. Try again some other time. Now, of course, the big thing, you really still don't... Well, hookshots and logic. It's a tricky one to actually decide on this point, because you get that hookshot, it gives you Hookshot Cave, as well as Mire. The flippers are still outside of logic. Boots are not in Swamp. We know this much. That is a decent bit of scouting from this dungeon. I mean, you don't necessarily need them, but it might not be a bad idea to find out soon whether we do or not.
I'd be tempted personally to go check out Eastern Dark Death Mountain and all the goodies that lie within there.
Yeah, we're about getting to that point, because the two of them really need a fire source really badly. Because this is limiting a lot of dungeon choices. Desert Palace you can't finish because of lack of a light source. Misery Mire you can't get to the left side because of a lack of any form of fire source. And Ice Palace is technically lamp locked because of where the flippers were, so there's not going to be anything satisfactory in there. So this point, East Deathbound and Meyer are both good plays. But Meyer's a lot riskier due to the lack of a fire source, so if these guys don't go to Death Mountain next, I will be very surprised.
Yeah, we've got plenty of stuff that is just a plain mystery at the moment there.
I decided, yeah, let's just use Bombos. Seems good enough. Oh, God.
These enemies are just bugging. Let's just nuke them all.
Goes for another Bombos, my goodness. Not the fastest strats, but it's certainly a lot safer. Alright, there's only one more lane around, and it might even walk over. Yeah, there we go. It walked over one of the bomb pickups, allowing Ack to see exactly where in the room it was.
Aha, you stepped on my bomb. Now you die, but not by the bomb. You're just gonna get hit by my hammer.
It is one of the more niche things you can do if you have a lot of trouble with the Dark Turtle Room, is if you lay down bombs, you can see them walk over it, and then hammer them from there. They also die in one shot, the bombs, so that sometimes works out really nicely anyways.
Either way, we've got dueling Helmasaur King fights here. And then from there, it should be pretty easy. Alright, with the mask goes off there, one silver arrow to the noggin. If you can, and there we go, he goes down. Within seconds of each other, we're almost right back in sync right now. So the question is, where does the path diverge from here?
I'm really expecting the Deathbound check, and then after that, it could diverge a little bit, depending on what they get. Overall, though, I'm not really expecting much divergence at the moment, because the seed really is kind of just leading them in a straight line. Deciding to go for the save and quit up to the Death Mountain instead of bothering with fluting.
It saves a few seconds here and there, so they're pretty much exiting the old man's cave at almost the exact same time.
Yep, it is marginally faster to avoid mirroring and fluting, but very marginally. You're deciding to head up towards Tower of Hera first, whereas Ack's just gonna go ahead and start from the bottom on the east side. Either way makes sense. A question for the chat. No, Sora has not been checked yet. Ack has orphaned Sora really badly because he already checked the Ledge and Waterfall Fairy. But that's about it so far.
Alright, so we're going to be checking Paradox Cave pretty shortly on Ack's side there, so we'll see where things go.
Really expecting the boots to be up here somewhere. It just makes sense.
And book.
There we go. There we go. It's as if on cue. Now, the downside of coming up... So, we get a bit of an interesting balance at this point. If you decided to come up here before Pod, then okay, you end up getting the boot seating and run all through all Pod, and you'll have the lamp if you so choose to go get it. But the other way around, now they both get to do hookshot caves, so... might be leaning in favor of the latter.
This is true there, yeah. And now with those boots, then we can go get that lamp there. With a lamp, you get the access to all the fire-required things.
And probably the most important thing now is, with the boots in our possession, Swamp is fully in logic.
It is in logic there. We just got a bum hint from the hint tile, but oh well.
Yeah, they're actually deciding to continue up the path of... there we go. Of Pendant Tower of Hera. Doesn't manage to get the wraparound bomb jump, though.
That picks up the red mail from the Super Bunny cave, I believe that was. Didn't get a good look at that, but that's what it looked like. And it's right there at the Hookshot cave. But it's going to check out... the medallion is Bombos for Turtle Rock.
We are 100% in Fire Rod Go mode at this point. So, hey, that could show up anywhere. It could even just be in Ice Palace, which, honestly, I think I'm kind of expecting either that or Meyer next. Oh, Dead Rocks. Oh, Dead Rocks. Why? Really wouldn't be surprised to watch Ack go get the Tap Magic, because it's nice and tempting.
Have we seen Half Magic yet? Or do you just mean the...
Loading aisle.
Oh, right. Yes, you're correct.
So, interesting thing here. Ack will now have the decision as to whether or not to go into Hera. We have confirmation now that it is useless. Nothing good in there unless, you know, Petsy, but... Ah, come on! He's hovering over a single tile gap on the invisible floor.
Really, Ack? Really? You just want to show off that badly, huh? Alright, I see how it is.
He makes it look so effortless. Makes me sad.
And looks like Leyra is heading back into Dark Death Mountain there. Do you... I know, it doesn't really make much sense to go into Turtle Rock right now, although you could do it.
We could go for the dip. I mean, it is Fire Rod to Go mode, so you wouldn't be able to go very far, so the temptation is there. Definitely at least open it up while you're here, though.
Yeah, he still needs the boots to get the lamp to be able to actually go anywhere in Turtle Rock. Well, you need a Fire Rod to go anywhere in Turtle Rock, period, but that's beside the point.
Question in the chat. No, this is actually game 2. This one is Leyra's choice.
And there's going through Hookshot Cave here. Nothing terribly of interest here, but it's 4 chests. It's worth a check there. Now with the boots, Axe is going to check the King's Tomb there and probably Graveyard Ledge while he's here. So let's see if this is one of those random locations that have whatever it is, some random progression item.
Well, can't really get up to Graveyard Ledge without the being in the Dark World, so it'll just be this and Bonkrux.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And then, if I had to be a guesser, probably head over to Desert Palace next. After picking up his lamp from the library so he can actually light the torches to finish the dungeon.
Pretty much, yeah. You've got the boots. You'll pick up the lamp from the library there. Head over to the Desert Palace. Hope something's in there. Otherwise, you're forced to dip into Misery Mire at this present moment and hope. And that's getting close to full clearable now if we haven't already.
Oh yeah, and making sure to stop by Magic Bat on the way. Convenient enough. He'll get his lovely 20 bucks. Everybody's favorite prize.
Alright, Leyra makes it through the spiral cave there. We're not going to be getting anything interesting from here, just bombs. And onward we go there. Leyra has still yet to pick up the book and the boots from the Paradox Cave, but that is going to be their next stop, judging by their progression through Dark Death Mountain.
Alright, let's go ahead and snag that lamp. It's an interesting choice that Act decided to completely scorn the upper left side of Death Mountain. It's like we could have done Spike Cave, could have checked Ether and Spectacle Rock and all that other good stuff. He's all like, nah, I'm just gonna go do some Crystal Dungeons. And away he goes. First up on the list, Desert Palace and Misery Mire.
Pretty much there, or maybe not in that order, but yes.
Just due to current health conditions, I expect him to go into Desert Palace first.
Pretty much there. I mean, is Dark World Dungeon. It's got a lot of annoying enemies in it there. You could easily get hit there. Although they both do have red mail in here, so that's some good damage reduction.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting thing right now. Because, I mean, we just got the flippers out of a dark room, so they know that Lamp locked some means of progression, which kind of follows them along that trail. Hookshot hasn't really amounted to anything yet, but is necessary, so it's probably just a convenience item. But you gotta wonder, it might be nagging the old brain to chase the flippers first, but I know they won't want to do it. Simply because you really don't want to deal with Swamp or Ice Palace if you can help it.
Some caches in Ganon's Tower. Great hint, Tile. That's something we really need to know.
We've learned 2 things about Ganon's Tower this run. Very useful hints. 100%.
We'll visit again. Alright, so Leyra's heading into Desert Palace as well at the moment there. Should not be that far behind.
Leyra's kind of forgotten something important, though. Can't finish the dungeon without the lamp from the library.
Ooh, that's gonna be annoying. I saw that Ack had picked it up there, so I somehow missed that Leyra has neglected to pick it up.
One of those things where you're really not used to not having some means of lighting torches this far into the run. So it will come up. Now, if Leyra gets lucky, the fire rod will just show up somewhere, but gotta be praying a little bit at the moment.
Well, Ack is heading towards Land Molos, so it should not be that far out of the way. Well, sorry, that's not what I meant to say. It's not in Desert Palace as far as we've seen so far.
So the worst thing for Leyra right now would be if the fire rod is just conveniently locked behind a lamp item, like an actual torch room.
Ooh,
So, like Lamola's or west side of Mire, or Lamola's would be the 2 worst spots. But I mean, come on. It's probably just gonna be an Ice Palace. Where else is it ever gonna be?
Yeah, more often than not, that's where you find it there.
Confirmation the second item in Desert Palace was in the big chest, so Ack will be running back in to get his lovely $50 here in a moment. There we go. Leyra's remembered to go get the lamp.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of the way there, but yeah, better do it now while it's fresh in your mind. Not the biggest time loss in the world, but oh well.
Yeah, this means one more mirror after he's done with Misery Mire, because it's probably gonna be where he heads next. After picking up the potion. Three blue potions! All nice and stocked up. Probably not gonna have to worry about that. Could be good to go for the rest of the seed, most likely. That's what happens when you have all those rupees just hanging around with no purpose for them.
Pretty much, even after all that spending, he still has over 1,000.
They're heading on into Misery Mire. Also, no, they opted not to get the half magic off a floating isle. Could be a little bit of a pain later on, but it's just a nice convenience item, not necessary. So where do you think it's gonna be? It's gotta be out there somewhere, after all.
Well, it is at this point it could be almost literally anywhere. Well, not literally, I don't suppose there, but where do you want it to be? The troll portion of me wants to put it on pedestal, if that's even possible. The realistics is, like, the seed has been sort of pointing a little bit towards swamp, so I am going to go out on a limb and say left side of swamp.
And the left side, too. I have a most profound sigh for that. The temptation of the Godmire. Giving a big key right away when these two are, of course, still looking for an item. I can't resist. He was thinking about it, but he just can't resist going for this.
Behold the flying toad, one of nature's wonders.
Now, the thing about doing this is Ack might be tempted to not come back in. But we'll see what happens. Because that's always the risk that you run by just biting on that Godmire. It's like, well, the dungeon's done. It's got an item left in it, but what if I don't want to go back in? What if I just want to keep going and say that the fire rod's not here?
Are you a gambling man? Is that what this is?
Well, you see, I have these dice here. You gotta roll them. You gotta roll them. It's the last item. You feel the pressure to win. Where's it gonna be? Where's it gonna be?
Unrelated now, I have the Oogie Boogie song stuck in my head now.
You're joking. Alright, opting for silver arrows against Vitreous. I will have them down in no time at all. So much high value metals being used to puncture squishy eyeballs. Ew.
I'd rather die. I'd rather have a sharp stick in the eye rather than give up my item. Okay, here you go.
So with this, we have confirmation that the items are on Vitreous and Cutscene Chest. Wonderful.
The two most out-of-the-way places you can possibly get to in Lyra.
Is he gonna skip it? Is he gonna skip it? Ah, he's not gonna skip it. Shame.
The temptation is very strong, but so is the potential face bombs to one's forehead.
It's true. It's true. I mean, it can cost you a lot of time if you leave it behind. Hopefully he doesn't put cutscene chests off for the very last spot, though. At least save a little bit of time traversing to the other side of the dungeon.
Well, we're gonna see what it is pretty shortly.
Only downside is now he has to actually go and grab this, the small key. There's a little small problem of didn't have a spare one thanks to hovering the gap. Poor Leyra, having to come back up the stairs after the first try. Kinda, a little bit of a mishap with the block.
Oh well.
Alright, are you going down? Gonna go straight to cutscene chest? Nope. Okay, enjoy last location of your item. Some cash in a unique item requires a big red bomb. Unfortunately, we need the fire rod for the other 5/6 crystal in the form of Skull Woods. So... and surprising nobody whatsoever. Fire rod, absolutely not in this fire. I could have saved a nice chunky few minutes if he'd taken the gamble, but he really does not want to get bit by that last location, so instead he's going to full clear all the Misery Mire for no reason at all. Oh, the joys of cutscene chest. Every time.
What can you do? Yep.
Vizier's tried to invite him to just not come back in, but he came back in, and now he's gonna pay the price. The cutscene price.
Alright, so Ack is going to be getting the cutscene chest very shortly there. Lyra is heading over in the Vitreous direction. They should be finishing relatively soon to each other.
Mm-hmm. Lyra's also going to head into Desert Palace to go finish off Lamola's, so very slightly behind at the moment, but not by much. And honestly, it's still anybody's game. You never know where that fire rod's going to show up, and Ack might be tempted up to Death Mountain with how much he left on the upper left-hand corner at some point.
That's true there, but as we know, the Lyra has already checked that, and we know that nothing is there right now, so that means that it could be in Swamp Palace there. We know it's not in Hera there. We know it can't be in Turtle Rock because we can only reach one chest in Turtle Rock, so it could be in one place in there, possibly there, but all signs point to Ice Palace at the present moment. Not Ice Palace or Swamp Palace.
Here we go. Checking that shovel out right away for the cutscene chest. I will be stunned if this is the fire rod. I don't know. Just not expecting it to be something like this just now.
But what if it is?
If it is, then it's a really, really good thing Ack didn't get baited by the Godfire.
Nope, just arrows.
You get a refund for your boss kill if you bother to pick it up. And he didn't even bother.
I don't need your stinking arrows.
Lovely use of about 3 or 4 minutes there.
Alright, so Ack is making the play for Ice Palace at the moment there. It's the better of the two ball plays, in my opinion, there. Yes, because Ice Palace is a crystal there, but Swamp Palace is a pendant there. But there are more items, if I remember correctly, in the Swamp Palace, so it's a bit of a trade-off. But the crystal will really make it worth it.
There is the slight thing that Ice Palace has 3 hints as well. You never know, maybe it's on left side swamp, and there might be a hint in here that mentions a unique item on the left side of swamp.
Well, we got the answer to what was in the purple chest, which we already knew, but it's still useful, I guess.
They're having a little bit of difficulties with the landlords. Got kind of unfortunately face tanked one on the first phase, which threw off all the rhythm.
Pretty much there. If you can't get your setup correctly there, then the whole thing's just thrown into chaos. Still easy, but even so.
Alright.
Now, someone brings up the point that we still have... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, continue.
No, go ahead.
Someone brings up the point that we still have not checked Zora yet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, Zora's still very much open to the field. I would be kind of surprised if something so early in the game has the fire rod at this point, but stranger things have happened. Too far to the east on that bomb. Fire rod is on a boss!
Oh, that Lyra sinks down quite a lot.
So, Ack is now going to go straight to Cold Stare. This just became a go mode Ice Palace, and this puts him decidedly in the lead. Like, no questions asked now. As he hovers straight over the pit, he's going right to Cold Stare. What an amazing hit! Just like, here's your go mode item, it's on a boss, get a move on, don't bother with the other portions of Ice Palace, just move.
Yeah, that is going to be a significant lead right there. Lyra is still checking out Hobo, where that Ack had the fake flipper to way back when.
So yeah, at this point, it's either going to be Cold Stare or Argus. And, well, I mean, it could be in... Did we get 3 items in Eastern Palace? I don't actually remember if we got all 3.
It could be on Argus, it could be on Cold Stare there, but we know that, yeah, like you said, there's nothing else of value inside of the Ice Palace.
So hopefully Cold Stare, but if not, then we have that Ack gets to play the lovely game of Which Pendant.
One would hope that it would be on Cold Stare, and we're going to find out right now. As Ack takes on Cold Stare, he uses the Bombos to unfreeze him, and away we go. Can we get the proper setup for the quick kill?
Now, unfortunately, Lyra's checking more and more flipper locations, and since we know this is not where the fire rod is, it's more time being burned that Ack can use in case he chooses the wrong pendant boss first, assuming it's not just right here.
No, big 20 there.
Alright! This has begun the game of chance. There's a 33% chance that whatever pendant Ack picks will be correct, but we know it's not Hera. And depending on how many items we saw in Eastern, it might not be there either, so he should probably go to Swamp.
I wasn't counting how many items we've picked up in Eastern so far there. Swamp is probably... Ooh, you get to go mode Swamp. If that's what it is there, that feels good there. Leyra's checking out just more and more flipper things there. Oh wait, for some reason I thought he was in the dark room and was heading towards Catfish, but that's not the case.
Nope, he's just swimming to Ice Palace. So get his hints soon. Hopefully he reads them. Because Ack's already heading into Swamp Palace. He's gonna head straight for Argus. Doesn't need anything else out of here.
Pretty much, you can skip the entirety of left side there and just go mode the entire thing.
Oh man. So if it's either Argus or Armos Knights, let's one of the two. Go mode Pendant Swamp Palace. This is the type of thing that hints cause. The only other time you'd see this is if you had confirmation that it was on pedestal.
Pretty much exactly that, yeah.
And yes, for Farame in the chat, we just got a hint in Ice Palace, the second one, that said the fire rod is on a boss. So very specific with how few dungeons we have left. It's gonna be interesting to see, because Armos Knights?
It's
Or
possible.
Swamp? And it's still one of those things. Swamp may actually be the only choice for Lyra. I know that we got the magical boomerang out of Eastern, but I remember seeing the map. I don't know if I saw the compass, though. You should rewind the bot. We'll see it.
Right now, it's still pretty much a 50-50 shot there. Alright, is this the hint there? Yes, Lyra now has the same information. Oh, don't drop the key. Keep going. Yeah, there we go. Alright, a good bomb jump there.
Alright, we're giving confirmation to the chat. There is still an item on Armos Knights, so it's gonna what's gonna be gonna hey, it's gonna come down to that after this. Argus seems like the more likely one, just so that way we actually get some progression out of our flippers.
Pretty much, yeah.
Maybe it was meant to be that we both get both flippers and fire rod from the lamp. Nothing to say that that lamp wasn't supposed to lead to 2 items.
Well, flippers is technically progression there because the logic requires you to have them to be able to get to Ice Palace in the first place. But now we are going to have our answer as we are entering the Argus fight right now. They're going to take off all these little mini Arguses? Fart clouds? What do you want to call these things?
Our guy.
He's wearing them like an Argyle sweater.
Oh.
And such.
And a swing and a miss for a couple of silver arrows, but is this the moment? Nope! Nope!
Not there. We are right. Lyra's back in the game if he takes the correct 50-50 here.
Alright, Ack. Where are you going? This is what I thought he was gonna do. He's heading to Tower of Hera, which we know is wrong.
It is a quick dungeon, though.
Yeah, and I recall the basement was not required, so he's gonna zoom up Tower of Hera very quickly. So it's really down on Leyra to choose the Armos Knights first. Because if he goes to Swamp, then Ack is still going to be ahead. So yeah, that's exactly what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to get the boots, grab the lamp, then do Pod and Eastern. The truth, Leyra's going to Swamp.
Ooh, that's gonna cost some time. It's a good bet, but it's gonna cost some time.
Yep, that's gonna leave Ack still in the lead. He's just gonna zoom straight up Tower of Hera and not check anything on the way, and kill Moldorm for his lovely nothing. These two are unfortunately the losers of the guessing game today, as they both managed to choose the correct boss last.
We might as well go pull Ped while we're at it. We know nothing's there, let's just do it anyway.
Yeah, look at this. If it wasn't for the fact that we didn't have to do Act 1 for Dark World Access, we're getting all dungeons anyways! Ethan! Even when they don't pick all dungeons.
Even when it's not all dungeons, it's all dungeons.
Almost makes you feel like they should do a victory lap around Naga 1 just for the sake of it. Ack, I know what you're gonna do. I can feel you doing it. You're gonna go hover that gap. Nah, he's just leaving. At this point, that is pretty much confirmation that he is frustrated and spooked that he managed to pick the correct boss absolutely last. What he doesn't know is, so did Leyra.
Who has the better luck? Are you sure that's not neither of you?
Yeah, we're all losers today, but that's okay. We'll get the participation award. Haven't you seen those? They come out like these shiny pieces of paper. That says you did
Shiny.
it!
And now we're right back to where we started, back in Eastern Palace there.
Yep, originally dove this trying to find their Dark World access, and instead it has something they need, but it's on the boss.
Pretty much there. Alright. Leyra is now back in Swamp Palace, or in Swamp Palace for the first time here. Heading towards Argus, but it's still got a little ways to go before they reach them.
So overall, the big difference here of why there's actually been a decent time gap for it between them. Leyra full cleared Tower of Hera instead of just doing the boss, as well as forgot to grab the lamp before heading to Desert Palace, causing them to have to make an extra trip. So it's just small things like that that have built up into using up more time running around than Ack spent. Because, I mean, all he did when he went up Death Mountain for the first time, no Spectacle Rock Cave, no Ether Tablet, no contents of Hera. All he did was kill Molarm and leave. So it's pretty much just these extra little trips.
Pretty much there. It's just taking that gamble of like what you want to check and what you don't want to check.
Yep, and we saw what happened. Like, they just tried to do the crystal dungeons once they were down to one item, because that makes sense. You don't want to do more overworld, but you don't have to. And it turned out, go figure, one of the crystal dungeons is just like, hey, you missed a thing. It's over there.
Pretty much there. And there are dueling bosses at the same time here. There, of course, everything could come down to left side versus right side. And there, finally, we have the fire rod where we knew exactly where it would be there. And Leyra takes down Argus, easy as pie. Finds out that he should not go play the lottery today.
Now, I'm being a smart fella here. Knows that pedestal's not going to be required for this one, so he doesn't want to get, stopped having to listen to the fanfares of the defeated pendant bosses. So he's just leaving. Mirrors right up, heads straight to where he needs to go. It's about 1 hour and 19 minutes to get to the go mode.
Not a bad time indeed there.
Yeah, we're just gonna blaze through Skull Woods. Just go straight to the back. one of those things where, while Bombos didn't unlock the fire rod, Bombos certainly helped us find the fire rod, so that initial dip into Skull Woods helped these two out a lot.
Indeed, yes. Of course, we still have a lot of execution things that could still trip things up there. We've got all of Skullwoods to do. We've got all of Turtle Rock to do. Something strange could happen there. And of course, the big left side, right side GT gamble, of course.
Yeah, GT can always lead to a little bit of troubles. There's a couple of routes you can take to pretty much, with this much of a time gap, subtract any possible ability to catch up, but it's all on what the choices are made, and Axe gonna feel like he's behind. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that choosing the correct boss last has made him feel like he is terribly behind. So he might get a little bit chancy. Just a little
We'll have
bit.
to see how this goes, indeed, yes.
Because that's like the number one thing in races like these. You always expect that your opponent's making the perfect choices and that you feel so behind all the time because you've wasted so much time. When in these 1v1s, more often than not, your opponent has made some pretty big errors too, because that's just how this works. It's rando, it's randomized, it's gonna happen.
Pretty much, yes. Alright, but Ack is taking down Mafia there. We'll be heading straight over the Turtle Rock there to make that Turtle Rock the GT jaunt.
Might want to pick up a few more arrows on the way. 7's fine when they're silver, but you don't want to run out on Ganon and have to switch over to silver strats and feel sad.
Ooh, yeah, that would take forever. No one wants that.
Leyra has some difficulties here with the back of Eastern Palace. Accidentally double hitting a switch, and now the red Igor's beating in pain. You can tell, they're definitely nervous. They know this is their last boss, the nerves are getting to them, they're starting to panic a little bit. But here's their fire on, it's time for them to go, go, go.
Indeed, they're off to get off to the races that we go there. Although, yeah, doing the rest of Skull Woods is not the biggest time sink in history there, but yeah, Ack has got a significant lead at this point.
Yeah, Skullwood's already down, already most of the way up Death Mountain. This is a good, like, 3 or 4 minute time gap. That's not going to be the quickest thing to close, when the only thing we have available anymore is pure execution.
Yeah, you don't really want to have to rely on your opponent to make a mistake to win, but sometimes that's just how it'd be.
At this point, they're both essentially... They're both going to think they're behind, so they're both praying that their opponent also last location the fire rod after finding that hint. Or even better, perhaps praying that their opponent did not check that hint.
Pretty much, yes. And in this case, they'd be right.
It's such a tricky thing, because it's like, once you've found your go mode item, if there's a significant time gap, then it just feels hopeless. But there's always a chance. There's always a chance. It might be a slim one, but it's there. It exists. Bad stuff can happen. Especially since we have red mail, but not the most hearts. And there are quite a few things in this game that don't care about your mail for how much damage they do.
Spikes do true damage, you are correct. And there's plenty of those to go around.
Yep, and hey, Leyra's the one with all the potions.
Now, if it comes down to potions to decide this fight there, we'll have a great seat on our hand. Not implying that it wasn't great already, but this has been a great thing.
One of those things, it's definitely the court, the ball is in Ack's court, so to speak. It is his game to lose. And would take some effort, but I'm not saying it's impossible. Because nothing in life is impossible. Or something motivational cat
I'd say it's
poster.
1 in a million chance, so you're saying there's a chance.
Also, yeah, further confirmation that Ack feels incredibly behind. Did not even bother picking up the full magic after doing the right side torch room.
Yeah,
And still refusing to pick up
as go mode as he as hard as they can.
Yep. Val and Wow are not playing nice right now. Just camping that chest on him.
Pretty much, yes. Those chain chomps are out for blood today.
Sometimes they really want you to stop and play with them for a little while. I mean, they're chained up in there all day. Nobody comes to visit. They just want some love and affection. Take care of your pets.
Unfortunately, their version of play involves a lot of biting.
Yeah. Thankfully, we did end up getting the big key out of the earlier chest, so we don't have to bother with whatever's in the big key chest itself. So, now the choice gets to be made. Do we skip big chest, or do we go to big chest? And considering Ack's current mental state, I'm saying we're skipping big chest.
We'll see how things turn out there.
Yep, off he goes!
Leyra is now into Turtle Rock there. The race is on. Can he catch up to AcktheBoker?
Now what you really want to see here is a small key. But, it's just another
Oh, you get
That's
bees.
all for! So there's one big hiccup here that could give Leyra a lot of time back.
Oh.
If there was no small key on Laser Bridge, then Ack will have to walk backwards, go across this room again, run across, go grab a small key for the big chest and move on. But that's dependent on Leyra also not skipping big chest.
Yeah, that is true.
It's about a
Could save him some
17%
time,
chance or
but
so.
oh,
Nope,
there's a small
never
key.
mind. Very first chest. Not even giving us any suspense. Come on, game. We need suspense, drama, tension.
Yes, and now we'll have the dramatic scene between AcktheBoker and Trinex. Like, you killed my father. Prepare to die, all three of you.
And hey, I mean, 5 hearts mail should be fine, but well, we'll see if the nerves are around. Not even trying to hover the gap. Yep. Ack is in full-on panic mode at this point.
Tempered Sword should take down the side heads pretty easily.
No doubt about that one. And with that nice half magic that Ack's sitting on, not a whole lot of pressure in terms of making sure not to run out of magic.
Yeah, a few more swipes there, as long as he doesn't faceplant himself into Trinex's main body there. That should be it for the Trinex.
Bye, Trinex! It's kind of funny how simple this boss is after you practice it a few times.
Pretty much there, yeah. Oh, I had not seen that
Nice.
bunny swipe before.
And there it goes. Looks like a little vulture of some kind.
Can't say I'm up to date on my Final Fantasy knowledge to say what that is.
So, by the way, we should probably start the bot if nobody else has, because it's time to very briefly cast one chest. The big key is in Gan's Tower. You're not going to get very long, so get those numbers in now. Because it's going to stop in like 6 or 7 seconds. 1 through 22. What are you feeling? What are you feeling, Phantom? What's lucky?
My favorite number is 14 there. That ends up usually being somewhere around Bob's chest, personally, but that's just me.
Go with number 9. So a little bit of running around at GT, but not much. People sneaking in bit donations and subs to get that guess in real quick, and that's that.
Alright, Ack is going for the right side, probably going to check those 2 chests, mirror back to the front and check the left side. But who knows where that big key is?
Ooh. Okay, so as long as traditional routing happens, nobody's going right side until late, because those were no small keys in those first 2 chests.
Interesting.
So the only way somebody's getting over to right-hand side early is if they're feeling cheeky. I want to go do some good old Dark Magician stats. go into Stealthless Room and then go into the right feels like a good time.
Indeed. That'd be some risky plays you'd be taking there. Ooh, Leyra's only on 2 hearts going into to Trinex Room, but should be able to pick up a fairy from one of the anti-fairies around here if he decides to take the time. Or we'll just try and take on Trinex's 3 hearts. One of his 3 potions, right.
Yeah. He's got 3 of them. Chucking one's not a bad idea. Although he can endure 1 hit with Red Mail, so maybe we'll wait until he gets brought down to 1 heart. Meanwhile, in the good old chess game, I believe we are up to number 9's coming up right now.
Yep, just another small key in chest number 9 there, so onward we go. Through the teleporter maze there into the rando room, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have a chuckle if it ends up being right-hand side. Yeah, at this point, the only way Leyra's getting back into this game is if he does Dark Magician strats. And that is depending entirely on the big key not being in any of these.
So far, Ack is coming up with nothing so far. And right side, look at this.
Consider the Dark Magician strat's dead, because Ack is actually mirroring back after Rando Room to go check right side right now. So usually when I see this strategy done, the goal is instead to just do full lefts until Rando Room, but I understand he wanted to check the Hope Room just in case it was there, but Ack trying to make sure there are no shenanigans that will cause a lead this time.
Pretty much there, yeah, trying to get as much done as possible.
So, now Leyra's only hope is a tile room gamble.
And it's not in the right side there. Is it on that tile room?
Leyra's not going for the tile room gamble, so at this point, even though Ack is going to be very late to the GT Big Key, it's not too late.
Yeah, this is going to take a lot of time for Leyra to go over. Nice bounce jump there.
Using the Cane and Burner to make sure that the beetle doesn't knock him off, so instead, when the Jellies decides to get in the way instead. Always so cooperative, that Ganon's Tower.
Okay, you forgot to do the thing. I'm here to make you do the thing.
Alright, people are hopeful for Bob. What you got? What you got, not Bob?
Bob has the key.
Today's winner is number 18. So congratulations to Centroid41 for your correct guess of the Ganon's Tower Big Key guessing game. So Phantom, how much do you generally run these anyways?
I've run a handful of them there, although my time is absolutely terrible, so I won't be competing anytime soon if that's what you're asking.
Alright, because let's go ahead and see. This is the part of the run that pretty much all the runners of the tournament are the most used to. Going up Ganon's Tower, because it's the same every time pretty much, aside from those occasions where you're down maybe a sword or two.
Yeah, it's at the moment, so yes. Decides not to go for that safety room there. Doesn't need it at all. But we have the climb up the tower right now there. We'll see how well his execution is for this section there. I don't believe he has any safeties on him at the moment. I haven't checked what his bottles are, but that's what it was last time I looked.
It's gunpowder at least. God, the enemies. So the enemies in the previous room, the stall horses lined up perfectly for that beautiful double kill dash. And then the blue horse head just decides, nah, let's just take all your time. Ooh, nice snipe on that one though. So Lear's about to get his big key.
Going into Land Molus 2, AcktheBoker gets 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, bullseye! Onwards and upwards to the tower he goes. Good not Aga 2. Good Land Molus 2 fight there.
Picking up that heart because he is a little low and might have actually been at the part where the game was beeping at him constantly.
It's a heart from the Wizrobes there. Always good to have there. When you don't, when you're not near at full health there. Gets a good Wizrobe kill on that room as well.
I realizing that magic bar is a little bit low for fire rod shots, so let's just get this done with the lamp.
It's slower, but it is definitely is more effective. Or safer with the magic consumption.
Yep, it's kind of funny. The big downside to having to use the lamp is you'll generally be just that tiniest bit slower that you get your butt burned frequently.
He still has hearts to spare. I don't believe he's in any danger just yet there, but we will see how things turn out.
They were taking a little bit of a fall there in the cannonball room, but hey, when you fall there, you get a free dash, so it's not so bad.
Invincibility frames for the win. Double powder fairies brings right back up to full health there. And as he makes his way into the Moldorm 2 fight. And here we go, folks. We've got the Moldorm 2 hover. Does he make it? Yes, he does.
As effortless as usual. My god.
Jack, you are incorrigible. You and your hovering. Well, no. We can't, but you know what it is.
Even when extremely stressed out and worried about losing, Ack still will go for the Moldorm 2 hover and succeed just fine. As Leyra's having a pretty good, decent gauntlet overall. That blue horse head was being a pain for both of them, so it kind of equaled things out. My moles are being an issue at the moment, though, being ever so slightly off with the silver arrow shots. There we go.
Aga's gotten 2 double hits on Aga 2 at the moment there, and Aga 2 goes down. So Ack will... Oh, no, he's got one more hit. I thought that was... I must have miscounted somewhere. Well, now Aga 2 goes down there, and we will have Ack going into the Ganon fight very shortly.
2-2. 1-1. You get a passing grade on your geometry test today.
Go see Professor Vilcos. He'll teach you more.
They're, of course, not having the half magic, so has to be, careful with the torch rooms as well. Because you can fire off as many fire round shots as you want, but
Alright, so AcktheBoker is on his on Ganon right now there. In the first phase there, can he get the 1-1 cycle? We're going into phase 2, making some good hits on him early.
So interesting that for phase 2, he essentially just went straight for dash strats. Looks like everything's good. Yep. When you're confident in your dash strats, you don't even have to worry about getting that initial spin. So lovely 1+1 on Ganon. Should be a nice and easy wrap up with the silver arrows.
More or less there. It's pretty, unless something drastic happens there. This this is pretty much in the bag at the moment.
I can only imagine the bullets being swept by Leyra right now. Knowing what's happened with this run and being all the way to Moldorm 2 without Ack being finished yet. And Ack probably just being like, oh, don't you dare snipe me during the fanfare a second time.
Ooh, ouch.
And one more silver to the face. And Ganon is down.
We've got Tasty Bacon on the menu here. There, Ack will be finishing in mere seconds there. Leyra is not that far behind on Aga 2 at the moment. So they'll be finishing pretty close to each other. And good games. That is AcktheBoker with our victor here today.
finishing with a good old official recorded time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 55 seconds. Just barely squeezing in the sub 140. Just like one more little minor error would have been gone. And unfortunately for Leyra, finding that information out right as soon as Saga 2 goes down, it's always kind of heart-wrenching at that time. And we are joined most immediately by our victor for this match, AcktheBoker. How's it going?
Oh, it's going all right. How are you guys?
It's going fine. We've essentially been watching the two of you panic for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking at the end. You got that dope hit in Ice Palace, and then you had to flip a coin a couple times and always make sure you guessed wrong and just move forward from there.
Yep, both of you got the Fire Rod boss wrong entirely, picking the Eastern Palace last for both.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I felt originally I wanted to go to Eastern, but I don't feel like there was anything in the entire seed behind the mirror, so swamp, whatever.
So what were your thoughts on the seed in general there? Looks like for the longest time that you were looking, that everyone was looking for the hammer, and then we were looking at forever for the fire rod there. What were your thoughts on those two items and where they ended up being?
Hammer really wasn't that much of a concern, just because, like, once you got your mids, you're probably going to get the hammer pretty quick. I'm just really glad that nothing was at the Ice Rod Cave or Zora, because that would have been real nasty for me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Ice Rod scenario at the start there was, that was something. I saw you swing past the exploding mushroom cab, it's like, oh god, here it goes, he got stuck on the wall. You get stuck on the wall once during that, and one of those shards are going to kill you.
It's not the first time I've died to that. I should have known better, because, yeah. I don't even know what I was doing. I was a little indecisive of where I was going to go at that point. I think I was probably just tilted that I did my South Shore check to see if I could snag something early, and I was like, oh, there's actually literally nothing over here.
Yeah, it didn't end up being too worthwhile this time, unless you decided to do damn Agata.
Yeah, that would have been, I guess, interesting. I don't know. Then you would have just had to make committed to everything in the Dark World and still skip the Light World, but I really wanted to fake Flipper into Ice Palace. I kind of wish I would have done that. I was pretty much on the cusp of doing it until I got the boots. If I didn't get the boots where I did, I think I was going into Ice Palace 100%.
Yeah, as it turns out, that would have been a strong play.
They're finishing up on stream as well. Their time being 1:42:19. Still pretty close overall. About 2.5 minutes separating you guys.
Yeah,
my god.
That one boss away from each other.
Yeah. It's hard.
This tower did... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's hard playing against him, especially at the end, you know, when you have to type the finish. I'm just sitting there in cold sweat saying, please don't snipe me by 6 seconds again.
I did notice your file names, and yeah, the previous run was that close, and now the second one's still pretty close overall.
This is too close for comfort. I'm gonna have to find like a therapy group or something to talk about this. I've got the shakes ever since.
Some races are just like that, yeah.
So, Ek, I gotta say, out of all the item locations in this scene, how did you love that convenient mirror?
That was really interesting because I with the route I was doing, I had no way to get over to Pod because I didn't, well, actually I did. I had the hammer. So I was like, I'm never gonna do the purple chest, probably. And then I was like, if I'm not gonna do the purple chest, I'll just grab the pegs really fast. Like, I had no intention of ever doing any of that stuff. And I was like, oh, well, the mirror's here. I guess I'll just do everything. Never mind. That was really interesting.
Thanks for that, mirror. Managing to waste a long period of time.
Oh, yeah, that would have been really nice never to find that. Never mind. I'm really upset I did that. I forgot, because there was nothing behind the mirror, so how come I grabbed it? I guess maybe you needed it to get to...
Desert, yeah.
It makes
Actually, you
that
didn't.
routing a lot easier. Well,
don't
yeah,
remember
you
what
ended
the
up getting
book
the boots in the book at the same time.
Yeah, because they were in Paradox Cave with the hookshot in Palace of Darkness, so...
Yeah, I guess you didn't. Yeah, maybe not finding the mirror would have been overall a time save. I think it probably would have.
As paradoxical as that sounds, yes.
That's what happens sometimes. Whenever swamps and pendants, it's just like, there's so much potential for things to go horribly, horribly wrong, since suddenly that mirror becomes a big question mark instead of nice progression.
Yeah, that was really exciting seeing it was a pendant. Then you saw the lamp on the library, and I was like, oh man, these boots are gonna be right around the corner. Hopefully I don't see that hook shot. Nope, never mind, there's the hook shot, and I don't have boots for days. What a great seed. Of course.
Speaking of, I'm kind of interesting. I mean, yeah, I find it interesting that neither of you decided to go up to... Oh, neither of you decided to go up to Death Mountain with that mirror and hammer combination before going to Palace of Darkness, despite knowing that the lamp was on the library, so you'd probably find your nice little booties somewhere out in the open.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could have gone there and then gotten your lamp and then done pod and sequence. I don't know. I just wanted to do pod. I really didn't want to go up Death Mountain because, I don't know, Hera was a pendant. It would have been up there saying, like, come on, Ash, come on in, and I didn't want to be taunted by that. And
It ended up being
no hook shot,
Okay.
no, like, boots or anything to do all the other checks. They're kind of not great.
Yeah, it ended up being a boon for you anyway, since you put off the upper left-hand corner of Death Mountain so long that the only time you had to go up there was to go kill Moldorm. And even then, like, Lyra went up there and full cleared everything up there, including Spike Cave. So, that was a good chunk of time saved.
I mean, I tried to go up there, I really did, but the dead rock and the boulder didn't let me the first time.
Oh, that's right there. I almost thought there that was like an intentional death warp for a second, just how convenient it was. Like right out of the old man's cave, bam, boulder. There you go.
It was convenient that I died after turning in opposed to before. I was really nervous about that. I didn't really have much of a way to defend myself against boulders and dead rocks, and I didn't want to go through that whole room in the dark.
Yeah, it's just like...
Dies.
I figured you were just going up for the same point anyways.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I wanted to do that, then, you know, I could take a free look at what was on top Spectacle Rock, the item, and grab the hint, but it was just more so, it was convenient just because I got the gloves there. If I didn't get the gloves in exactly, you know, that spot, I wasn't going to go that way.
Yeah, that way you actually get a peek on Lumberjack Ledge when it's convenient and get something that's helpful from the moment you get the flute, which was nice and early too. Lyra didn't end up checking the front half of Thieves Town on his first loop of the Dark World, so ended up having to walk back to Kakariko to activate the flute. So just these little pathing errors here and there ended up giving you a couple of extra minutes to work with.
He didn't get his hammer the first time in?
No, he actually decided to forego Thieves Town entirely and checked it on the second pass after dropping off the smith.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, ugh. Yeah, that would have been pretty rough.
If that mirror wasn't there and there was actually something in the purple chest, you would have been in big trouble, but that's about it.
Nah, there would have been a hint telling me. I think there actually was a hint with the purple chest somewhere.
Yeah, there's
First
one hint that's saying the purple chest only had a heart container.
Right, okay. Yeah, so that means he probably got his mirror at, I guess, an inconvenient time, because it would have been better just a bit.
Yeah, it's like between that and forgetting to pick up the lamp when going to Desert Palace the first time, just small things. Otherwise, executionally wise, you were both fairly similar.
Oh, he forgot the lamp going. Yeah, that would have sucked.
Thankfully, did not go into the back of Desert Palace before realizing it, though, so very minimal time loss. You two were essentially just... You were essentially just following each other for the longest time anyways.
Taking little side loops that ended up meeting back up again, yeah.
I was really nervous that he didn't go in the swamp, because I felt like that would have been... I don't want to do that. I couldn't tell. I was like, I don't know if he's gonna completely avoid swamp or if it's gonna be the first thing that he did. I felt like swamp would have been his first choice, but, you know, I was really nervous that he might have just foregone it the whole entire time. But I felt like I probably needed there opposed to guess right, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like, even your collection rates, 154 and 155. So, Seed kind of really pulled you two in the same sorts of directions. And in this case, like, the balance out is the stuff in Tower of Hera versus the stuff on Right Side GT. It's
Right,
really
that makes sense.
That was an interesting choice of GT routing, to say the least.
Yeah, I just try to, you know, make sure you mirror right before you're going to get the big key. That's kind of like how I like to do my GT route. My GT route, the last seed, cost me the race, too.
Ooh, yes.
I did Stalfos first into right side, and he did right side first. So,
Overall, though,
blame Pink
very
for
good
that
race It's not my fault! It's not my fault. Oh, every single time you think the seed's gonna be nice, it just has to go and throw you for a loop anyways. Like, that hint was lovely, but you still end up going to all the wrong bosses first.
It's fine. I mean, I've picked all dungeons in all of my matches so far, and then the first time I don't get an all dungeon seed, it's an all dungeon seed anyways, so you know what? I couldn't feel more at home. Fine.
Expecting a standard seed. Too bad, it's all dungeon seed.
Exactly. I'm gonna do him anyways. It looks like he got all of his pendants too, so he watched the fair. Really unfortunate. That would have been about 30-40 seconds right there also.
Yeah, all the fanfares were watched, so it's just one of those things where... And most people really don't think about that, where you can just mirror out after the pendant drops. So that might just been a small knowledge thing, but yeah, it would have cost another 30 seconds or so just listening to the fanfare each time. Oh, very close, and both of you had a couple of things, like, we were getting really nervous for you when I realized the purple chest was going to get orphaned, and of course Ice Rod Cave was just seeing Lyra heading towards straight afterwards. It's like, oh boy, is this the Dark World access? But now it's just $20.
Yeah, I wasn't, I was really sweating bullets. That was gross. I should have better. That was really silly. I did probably a route that cost more time. Ended up dying, so stellar planning on my part.
Lyra was definitely first into the Dark World by a decent chunk. The early game was a bit rough on both ends, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured it would have been the same time regardless when I found the mids, so... But yeah, if it was any of those other spots, I was...
All right, so with this game here, that puts you at tied for second place at 2-1 there with Dark Shadow 59 there. Both of you are half a game behind Leyra there. This has handed Leyra the first loss of the group stage as well. So the top of this group is getting closer and closer. I'm excited to see how things turn out. Is there anyone else that you are keeping a close eye on?
It's not even really the top of our group. I think everybody has a loss right now that's actually finished a match. I don't think JTB's played any yet, but yeah, it seems like everybody in the group is really strangling everyone right now. It's really making it a lot of fun, to be honest. If I'm looking at anybody, though, it's Solsky. I just, need to find that man in a seed without a bug net, and he's got no chance. Really looking forward to playing against him whenever he decides to stop dodging me.
Well, one of those things. Any other final words before we start wrapping up on this one?
Oh, no, thank you. Thanks always for the commentary, guys. Thanks for the restream. Thank you, Tracker, for being awesome. Yeah, guys, have a good one. I appreciate it.
And also thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting this tournament there as well. And again, thank you to all those who have made this race possible.
And of course, with that, we wrap up with saying, hey, if you enjoyed what you saw, then feel free to follow the runners Lyra and AcktheBoker as well. And of course, we have our staff here today running the stream for you. We've got good old Nif for handling the tracking. Actually, forget who's doing the stream today. And if you really feel so inclined, I guess there is the two of us as well. But hey, one way or another, I'm just gonna fire off these here commands. Let's see. Oh, it didn't work anymore. There we go. Okay. And for everybody here on Speed Gaming, we say, have fun. We'll see you next time. We have... Anything coming up? Actually, Sonic Cam versus SAGTG. That's about 30 minutes inward over on Speed Gaming 3 at the moment. And in about an hour, we also have Haha Cell versus 1 Up 40 over on Speed Gaming 2. So both of those are going to be all dungeons. The one going on right now on Speed Gaming 3 is actually swordless, standard swordless, just to make it even better. Hard Key Sanity, so that's going to be an adventure. And all dungeons open randomized Key Sanity for Haha Cell versus 1 Up 40, so feel free to check those out. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Have a wonderful night. Catch us if you can.